Ball is Life here with Tony Dorado, longtime Nike manager of high school basketball. Tony, appreciate you being on with us.
You're welcome.
Talk a little bit, we want to talk a little bit today about just the state of the high school game, your experiences, what you've seen, some of the things that are positive, some of the things that need improvement, and what you see in the future. So talk a little bit about your background and how long you've been involved in high school basketball in terms of what you do with Nike.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been at Nike over 20 years now, and almost all that time doing this job and dealing with high school basketball. But before that, I spent about 13 years as a high school basketball coach.
Correct.
Most of that time in California. Yeah,
Right,
Monroe Catholic. Yep. Very proud of how they're doing. You know, these last few years, Frank Knight is doing a great job with them. But I mean, I've been involved with high school basketball for a long time, and I've definitely seen, you know, like we're here at Bishop Gorman with their tournament, and you've seen the proliferation of all of these national tournaments. You've seen a lot more attention going to high school basketball, and of course, you know, grassroots in the summertime as well. But I think there's a lot more attention that goes to high school basketball now from a national perspective, and I think, you know, the media and the social media has helped with that as well. I mean, people can now follow in various different forms on what the scores are here from the East Coast, right? Yeah, exactly. From what's going on, and you know, I head from here to another tournament tomorrow, and that's national in scope as well, and there's teams there. So I think that's been one of the biggest changes in terms of just how much focus, how much attention there is now into the high school game.
Gotcha. And that attention and focus, most of it's positive. From what you see 20 years to now, what do you think is maybe few of the negatives and things that you'd like to see cleaned up in terms of what that attention has brought?
Well, I mean, I think one of the biggest things is that it'd be great to see things uniformed, you know, across all the country. And I understand that all the states are governed by their individual state associations. Yeah, but it'd be great for the National Federation to get involved, or for them to come together unified and say, hey, this is what we're going to do from a rules or from a travel standpoint. You got some states that are allowed to travel unlimited amounts of times, and you got lots of states that can't travel at all outside of their state. And you know, I think these trips and these things are a great educational tool. And it's not for, I'm not talking about for the future Division I player. He's going to be able to travel all he wants.
Yeah, he's going to travel with his college team all the time.
Exactly. I'm talking about maybe the kid who's the 11th or 12th player on the team, who won't be on a college team, who maybe from a financial standpoint, doesn't have the resources to ever get to travel. So now this is an opportunity for them to travel, and that's what the kids in those states that don't get to travel, that's what they miss out on. And it'd be a great educational opportunity for those. And I'm not saying, hey, states allow unlimited travel and teams are traveling and missing a ton of school. Let them travel once, let them travel twice a year, and be good with it.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. You talk about you're going to a tournament, you're going to the Iolani tournament in Hawaii, and you know, some kids get to go visit the Pearl Harbor Monument and that type of thing, and get off to an island, you know, 2,000-3,000 miles away, and it seems like a great experience. And then, from my standpoint, with doing the Fab 50 national rankings, the more tournaments there are and the more results there are, the more accurate you can become. Yeah. And you get a good feel for which teams are the best, because people like to talk about that, and that has grown. Talk a little bit about that as well, Tony. Over the years, you know, as more tournaments come along, and then obviously the NHSI, which is now the Dix Nationals, emerged, and you get a good feel for who are the best teams. And talk a little bit about what you used to see before, and there may be, you know, 4 or 5 undefeated teams at the top of the rankings before. Now you have teams, most of them have losses. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think those platforms of great tournaments or those showcase events allow for those top teams to play. And you've been doing the Fab 50 rankings for a long time, and it was harder to, back in the day, it was harder to judge those teams because you didn't know, hey, if a team in California never played a team from Atlanta, Georgia, how are you to know which were the best teams? But now with these tournaments, man, now you can really, you get it. It's fun for the fans. It's fun for high school basketball. It gives great attention to it. But I don't think it takes away. I don't think it. Some people say, it causes now the commercialization of high school basketball, and it doesn't do that. I think it's providing opportunities for kids that they would not get otherwise. So it enhances their whole educational experience.
Gotcha. It makes a lot of sense. We talked about some of the uniform rules, and I think 7 or 8 states have a shot clock, and about 43 don't.
States. Yep.
8 states, there you go.
Yep.
We see here at the Tarkanian Classic here in Las Vegas, Nevada doesn't. And you see some first round, some low-scoring games. What benefits do you think, first of all, would be if there was a shot clock, whether it's 30, 35, 45, and how do you think that could be implemented? Is there any way to implement that cost effectively across the country?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be great for the game. I think the games flow better, when you have a shot clock. But I also think a shot clock really helps like the lesser talented teams. I think it creates a situation where where it starts to level the playing field. Because if I'm playing one of these high-powered teams and I've got a regular average team with not a college player, future college player, and that team is beating me and they spread the floor on me with no shot clock, game's over.
Yeah, and they're a good coach and they have a good ball handler. I can't go chase. But if there's a shot clock and I know, hey, I can sit in the zone and know they got to come to me after 30 or 35 seconds or whatever it is, I'm still in the game. Sure. I still get a chance to play. So I think a shot clock around the country really, I think people don't realize that lots of times. But it does end up leveling out the playing field quite a bit. And but I don't think it's necessarily like some people say, well, shot clock's great because it helps kids go to the next level. I don't think that's a great reason to do it because that's how many get to go to the next level. 1% of all high school players. So you don't want to help the 1%. But I think just for the game itself, and I think to help level the playing field out, I think shot clock's really important. Great. You talk about your involvement with Nike and your sponsorship with teams. Talk a little bit about some of the clients you guys have, and if you see them like on campus, and you might be talking to them in passing, how they view or what do they talk about their high school days, whether it's a LeBron or anybody else that is under your guys' umbrella. What do they feel about their high school days when they talk to you about it? You see them at an event. What is the main thing you can offer kids that as they look back at it?
Well, I mean, I think that they feel like, hey, you know what? It was a special time, and sometimes those players will come back and they'll talk to the old high schools and say, really enjoy this time. Appreciate this, and appreciate that you're traveling out of state, or you're traveling to a great event or something like that. So appreciate that, and then I think those guys will be the first to say, hey, appreciate what Nike does for you, or what any company. If any company's giving you something, or if a tournament is providing travel for whatever it is, just appreciate what they give you. And I think that's always the great thing is, again, for my standpoint, is if we can help a school with their limited budgets, we can help a school reduce the amount of money that they have to pay out to play.
Are cash strapped all over the country.
Then I think that's a great thing.
Gotcha. One last question, and we'll let you go. When you talk about this whole cycle, you've been in it 20 years, and what do you kind of see in the future? Anything that you see that maybe the game, high school game is going, or the grassroots game is going? Anything that you think you envision any changes, or do you think it's kind of be status quo here in the next?
Well, I think like with the Dix National Tournament, I see the tide changing a little bit. I see a lot of state associations or national organizations changing out their leadership because people are retiring and newer people. Yeah, and I think the new blood is taking a look at things.
This is interesting.
Yeah,
this might be a good thing.
I think so.
You saw the Washington Rainier Beach.
Yeah, and I can see across the country, across all sports. I could see sometime, I don't know how near a future, but I could see somewhere down the road where we have like a national championship for football, for basketball, for golf, for tennis, for across all the sports. And again, I think if it's done the right way, I don't think it's harmful. I don't think it minimizes what goes on state experience. Yeah, I mean, when Rainier Beach was vying for the spot in the Dix National, there was probably more national attention and more people interested in the state of Washington state playoffs because what Rainier Beach did impacted all those other people. So that did not deter from
Diminish it.
No, not at all. It made it
Draw interest.
actually even better. Yeah, because it drew national interest.
Gotcha. Well, appreciate your time, Tony. Thank you for being on,
obviously.
and thank you for the input.
Yep. Thanks, Ronnie.